Well, congratulations, everyone. You've gone through Ash Wednesday, and we're beginning really the first full week of Lent. And Paula has designed a set of practices for us that revolve around money, and actually simplifying the use of money. But talk about why that's important, and talk about one or two of the practices that kind of stick out to you for this week.
Well, just like we were saying in the first section about clearing space, and that job that you did without taking credit for it shows the little door into vainglory or whatever that we aren't even aware we're suffering from. Starting to play around a bit with how we deal with money reveals something different. And for me, it's been how much I hook money to security, and how much I think I can hold the uncontrollable forces of life at bay if only I have this much money in the bank, you know, at a given time. And so I feel like setting up a whole week in which we start examining our use of money and our attitudes toward money is going to open up all kinds of interesting new looks at the self and its need for this kind of absolute security. You know, people, the feeling, for example, of having a credit card with a really high limit on it, you know, even if you're never going to use it, there's a kind of security in that.
Yes.
You know, people, as they approach retirement, all they can talk about is their portfolio and how that's doing, you know, as though that's going to keep us from getting old, getting cancer, and dying. You know, it's not. Certainly it can help ease things along the way, but it's that dependence on it. I began to think in some ways that we depend more on our credit cards than we do on God. It's easier, it's more natural to depend on that, and to depend on ourselves to take care of ourselves versus, you know, one of the big practices in the rule of Saint Benedict was to not own personal property.
Yes.
And the reason for that, it's really cute when I finally discovered what was at the root of all that. It was that they discouraged monks from having personal property because once they had some little treasure, even if it was a very minor thing, they clung to that because it gave them some kind of something no one else had, you know. And then they thought about, well, what if I get old and they don't take care of me here and I have to leave? I could always take this little thing and sell it, you know. And so it's like a hedge between us and the unknown.
Right.
And that's why I think it's important to see. I mean, obviously we need money. We need to be able to support our children and help people, and there are wonderful things that are done with money. But to become so addicted to it as a hedge against disaster is unrealistic, number one, you know. And so that's why I chose that for this chapter.
Okay. And so the exercises that you've designed for us, there's nothing sacred about them.
No.
Again, the point is to just allow yourself, give yourself permission to do them, even if you don't understand them, and see what it brings up for you.
Exactly. And
that's the great thing about this community group, is that you can talk about what has come up for you. And our hope is it's a safe place to talk about that. Yeah.
And that's pretty easily arranged, I think, ahead of time. If you sort of have an agreement with one another that, you know, what comes to the group stays in the group, that kind of stuff. You know, then I think people will be willing to open up and talk. And the interesting thing is some people may find that it's a huge relief. Not a huge relief to cut up a credit card. It's not a hard thing to do. It's something they've been longing to do without realizing it, that they didn't want that burden of that debt anymore, you know.
And so interesting, isn't it, that the very thing that they thought gave them freedom was creating bondage.
That's right.
And when getting rid of it, they now feel a sense of freedom.
They feel that they've been liberated somehow, you know.
Beautiful. So simplifying the way we use money is week number one.
Week number one.
Paula, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.